It's interesting you delineate university theater,
yes,
and community theater and dinner theater, which is interesting. And those would probably be defined by their purpose and by their material. Obviously, if you have a dinner theater, you choose very different material,
yes,
than you might, for example, with an experimental theater. I assume that you probably have never done a Neil Simon script, for instance. Not that those are bad scripts, but they are widely performed. It's hard to
might have to correct you on that, Michael.
Oh, well, there we go.
We did have a Neil Simon, Last of the Red Hot Lovers, and this was a group that came in from out of town to perform in our space. Yes, we did have.
So they used the theater, but it was not the Buckham group?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was a theater group called Encore.
Okay. How would you explain to somebody who thinks of theater as an entertainment, something enjoyed after dinner, the need for theater that goes beyond acceptable entertainment, or simply the desire for a pleasant amusement? What is it that theater can do in a free or experimental environment that it cannot do in a more general commercial environment?
Theater, to begin with, is a form of expression. It's a two-way street. The actor giving and the audience receiving. And the live actor actually needs the reciprocation from an audience. And it's hard to I think in this little space of time to start drawing lines between the various forms that might be chosen and might not be chosen. The experimental theater enables the actor and the director, technicians, and whoever's behind that particular production to tell his audience what other potential he does have, in the fond hope that an audience would accept new and varied forms of entertainment being given to him. The dinner theater obviously has its role cut out for it. It is a type of performance that is served soon after a meal, and it's invariably light entertainment. It does not an entertainment that does not raise great issues of any sort. And community theater has a function in the sense that take Flint Community Players, for example. They have had a wide following for a very long time, and a membership that requires a certain type of theater, and it serves it. Not only does it serve it under people like Bob Robinson, it serves it very well. So does the Newick Supper Theatre under Pat Victor. The University Theatre obviously has a scholastic outlook towards it. It needs to teach. It needs to get them to go into it and delve and start going into the thing in a scholastic manner, but all the time bearing in mind that the theatre is not a church. It is primarily a house of entertainment. Whereas in the experimental theatre, you are open by the very nature of that word to spread your wings, let your hair down, take to the skies, and give a form of theatre that asks an audience to think. It is a more Brechtian approach to theatre. You're not appealing to the emotion, you're appealing to the mind. You're asking the audience. I don't want you to just go away and say, oh, that was a good play, or so-and-so was a good actor and that scene was done well, but no, you think about what was said. You think about what happened. You don't go and say that was Hamlet was good, and that was Michael playing Hamlet, and this is the way Michael did it, and this is the way he said it, and you start thinking about it. It, to a certain extent, becomes a form of cerebral theatre.
but where you hope that they would go away saying something perhaps like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. If I had that situation, my response might be thus and so. Not judging the art as art, but rather the art as content?
Yes, the art as content, precisely. That's what happened with my last production, John Bowen's After the Rain. And it's this one man, it's a futuristic play where it's 200 years after the Great Flood of 1992, and this one character, Arthur, on board a raft, sets himself up as God and king, and he manipulates all these people into setting up the new society. And obviously it is a takeoff on the Ark in Noah's time, and it happened again in 1992. There was the Great Flood, and it raises some issues. It does get people thinking. Apart from the entertainment, I had a lot of people in the audience who later on, for that matter, even wrote to me saying, you know, we sat up that night and we talked about the happenings in the play. And that makes you really feel good, because not only had they taken it as a piece of entertainment, there has been a certain amount of thinking behind it. Once again, it is not the function of the theater to preach. And the theater preaches best when it makes no attempt to preach. So beneath the entertainment, beneath these wonderful characters, beneath the kissing and the fighting, the happenings, you sneak the message in.
It seems that there is such a rich tradition of entertainment in the theater that sometimes in experimental theaters I have seen people become very preachy and very humorless, and they turn their back on the almost limitless ability of theater to entertain, and I can see doing something very stark or very solemn as an experiment, is to see what will happen. But when you realize what the theater can do, what wonderful tools you have at your disposal, why not use them? Why not use them?
Yeah. Very true, because I think to a certain extent the theater makes an attempt to answer Pontius Pilate's worry and question when he said, what is truth? And the theater tries to go into it. And then you find that the truth is not just one straight line. It is a multifaceted thing. What appears to be the truth in one context, when reversed, is an absolute falsehood. And like you're saying, like I tell my actors, look guys, if you are playing the devil, look for the angel in him. If you are playing the angel, look for the devil in him. And like you're saying, like you've got this thing with you, and it's not all that preachy. Beneath it, there are the light, humorous parts to it. I think Shakespeare did that best.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have these gripping scenes, and then suddenly the next thing he does is, let's say Henry V. He cuts to another part of the battlefield where these two drunken soldiers are talking, and the philosophy of the two drunken soldiers matches this great speech given by Henry V. That is very true.